tariff tussle, Walmart's tariff tug-of-war. We are unpacking the latest tariff tug-of-war between Walmart and what it means for you, the consumer.
Exactly. We're diving into the impact of these tariffs, how Walmart is handling the situation, and what it could mean for prices on the shelves. Stay tuned as we break it all down.
And how will this affect consumers and shopping habits here in the United States? We're going to dig into all of that and more. First, we're going to jump in and listen to the original statements that were made by Walmart CEO. Then we'll go watch some footage from CNN and listen to some experts explain why they feel that the consumer should eat the tariff costs rather than the retailer. All right, guys, let's jump in. Feet first. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me today. My name is Regina Connell, and I do have my open source AI ChatGPT co-host with me today. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, my lady?
Thank you, Regina. Hello, everyone. I'm Mary Beth, your AI co-host. I'm here to help unpack all the details and keep the conversation flowing. Let's dive right in.
Let's do. All right. First thing we're going to jump into right now is we're going to listen to the original statement from Walmart's CEO. Then we're going to jump into some footage from CNN and anything else we might be able to glean. And then we're going to close with Walmart's ultimate response to the original statements. The CEO has since issued another statement. And I think you'll be happy. Well, actually, the U.S. Treasury Department released the statement. So we'll dig into that and so much more. Thanks for joining, you guys. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe. And if you're not sure yet, no worries. Stay all the way through, you guys. The watch time hours are the most important, you guys. Thanks for hanging with us. And let's jump in feet first. What do you say, my lady?
Let's do it.
We will do our best to keep our prices as low as possible. But given the magnitude of the tariffs, even at the reduced levels announced this week, we aren't able to absorb all the pressure given the reality of narrow retail margins. We're positioned to manage the cost pressure from tariffs as well or better than anyone. But even at the reduced levels, the higher...
All right, guys. So that was the Walmart CEO. And this was, I'm trying to see when it was. Let's see, May 15th. So that was last week. So the CEO saying, hey, we can't manage this and manage payroll and everything else. So it should fall to you, the consumer. And what interested me the most is we're going to get into this CNN footage where these experts come on. And one of them says that he used to do business with Walmart in some form or fashion. And he tries to break down why the consumer should eat the cost and the retailers should not. And I think it will shock you when you find out how much is actually imported and why doesn't Walmart seek to get from local instead of overseas. Well, I think we all know the answer to that. So let's jump in and let's get through this.
President Trump, a short time ago, telling Walmart that the company should, I'm quoting now, eat the cost, end quote, of higher tariffs. The comments come after the retail giant said this week that it would raise prices because of Trump's tariffs being too high. Walmart has more than 4,600 stores in the U.S. It's also the biggest private employer in the country with 1.6.
So I guess my only question would be, as she goes through the statistics of Walmart, would be, I know that tariffs have been risen before in other administrations, yet did they come out to the consumers? Now, this lady here is going to explain Walmart's proactiveness in relaying the information to the consumer. Hey, you're probably going to see some roll up prices instead of roll back prices. So let's see what she has to say, and let's pick this one apart.
To see you, Augusta. So President Trump is warning Walmart not to pass the tariffs on to the consumer. After Walmart has announced that it would have to do that, is it possible for Walmart to back down on what it thinks is the reality for them?
Thank you for having me. Well, it's a tough choice, not only for Walmart, but for a lot of businesses out there, right? Because what Walmart has been saying is that they will try to keep prices as low as possible for as long as possible. But the thing is that they have a tough choice to make, right? As they start seeing higher tariffs, they have to choose between keeping that demand at a time when consumer sentiment is going down, at a time when people are starting to feel jittery about the economy, and protecting their margins. So we could see them back down at some point, but that might not be the case as the tariffs start to make their way across these.
And you guys stay till the end because you're going to want to hear this if you don't already know.
But Walmart and other retailers who import a lot of their products from China and other countries that are indeed facing higher tariffs.
Yeah, that essentially means that after years of high inflation, at the same time, the consumers are also seeing high borrowing costs, right? Those credit card rates, they could see even higher prices. So for consumers, it's a matter of making choices, right? So if prices start to go up at a fast rate, they might start to pull back on some other things like vacations, for example, right? And we are starting to see people feel a little less inclined to buy non-essentials at this point.
Yeah, and among the consumers, who are likely to be hardest hit?
In this case, of course, it's low-income consumers, right? They're the ones that have been bearing the brunt of inflation.
So forgive me, let me disagree with what this young lady is saying. Not just low-income consumers, all consumers are feeling the brunt of this. All consumers, not just low income. You cannot do that. You cannot say that.
The bigger chunk of your income that's going toward those extra costs. So for low-income consumers who have been seeing higher prices for a while, the labor market is so strong where wage gains are.
So why is she honing in and focusing in on? I understand what she's saying. I just feel like this is wrong. See, here we go again. Just because someone makes more money than the other person, and no one should have to make a decision between vacation and essential items, non-essentials and essentials. And I hope this lady does not work for Walmart.
Want to shock the consumer, right? So by doing that, they don't want to see.
So here's where she explains them getting in front of
First
things.
of all, they don't want to shock the consumer, right? So by doing that, they don't want to see people going out there like we saw at the start of the pandemic and buying lots of toilet paper when prices do go up, right? So they're trying to warn the consumer that this is coming so that people can prepare ahead of time. But at the same time, you could infer that they're trying to send a message to the White House, right? We know that big box retailers like Walmart.
Okay, there's no message to be sent to the White House because, as Donald Trump stated, Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason for raising prices throughout the chain. Walmart made billions of dollars last year, far more than expected. Between Walmart and China, they should, as is said, eat the tariffs and not charge valued customers anything. And that means all customers. I'll be watching, and so will your customers. And that is truth. So you guys, now we're going to run on over and we're going to listen to this gentleman who is on here, and he explains that he used to work for Walmart, and he's going to give you the reason why consumers should be responsible for the price hikes and that we should feel sorry for Walmart. Here we go.
Tariffs on China. And joining us now, Jack Buffington. He's a professor of supply chain management at the University of Denver. Jack, you are the perfect person to talk to about all of this. Let's just start first with, is it possible financially for Walmart and these other companies to absorb the cost of these tariffs?
Hi, Jessica. As someone who used to work for one of Walmart's suppliers, I know how hard they work to keep prices down. So let me give you a little math here. So the tariffs so first off, about a third of Walmart's products are subject to tariffs. Tariffs used to be about 1%. On the average of all the countries, it's probably going to go up to about 10 to 15%. Their net profit margin is less than 3%. So if they eat these tariffs, they will actually lose money. So Walmart will figure it out. Companies like Amazon will figure it out. It's some of those other retailers that are really going to struggle. But even an efficient giant like Walmart has a very difficult time absorbing these tariffs.
Yeah. And we've gotten their survey on consumer sentiment. It's now at the second lowest point on record for the month of April.
I wonder
Are you
why.
surprised by this?
You shouldn't be.
I don't think I was very surprised by that. Just a couple weeks before, the consumer price index came down low, which was seen as good news, but I see it as a softening of consumer demand.
Okay, you guys, so here's what we're going to do now. We're going to jump on over to the result of Trump blasting the CEO of Walmart, and I don't want to keep you waiting. So without further ado, let's jump on into it. All right, my ladies, so we're back on the game. So we just watched the footage on CNN of two experts talking about Walmart's proactiveness in making the statements that consumers may have to eat some of the tariff costs. Then the White House response to that, President Donald J. Trump POTUS responded with, no, you should eat the tariffs because you made record profits last year, billions of dollars. Then we just watched the expert that came on and talked about, let me get his name real quick. He talked about Jack Buffington, supply chain expert, and his argument as to why the consumer should eat the cost. And then the lady before him was saying that it's going to impact low-income consumers the worst, you know, and this woman's name is, I don't know what her name is. I don't know why they didn't give her. Oh, here it is. Augusta Sareva, Bloomberg News reporter. That's who she is, I guess. Anyway, so my point would be that I don't care whether they're low income, high income, mid income. It affects all consumers. So to hone in on one affected consumer, no, we're all consumers, whether we make less or not. And then she's saying that now people are making choices between non-essentials and essentials, and that's just what they're going to have to do, is the message that I got. Then the gentleman came on and started talking about poor Walmart. That's what I heard. You guys tell me what you heard. That's the most important. Mary Beth, sum all this up for us, and then we're going to go over to this Newsbreak article and find out what the ultimate response was to consumers having to eat the tariff costs. Mary Beth, make sure you don't give it away, my lady.
Absolutely, Regina. So, to sum it up, the discussion really highlighted two main viewpoints. On one side, there's the argument that passing these costs on to consumers will hit low-income households hardest, forcing tough choices between essentials and non-essentials. On the other side, there's the perspective that Walmart, given its record profits, should absorb these costs instead of shifting them to consumers. It's a classic debate on who should bear the burden of economic policies. And we'll keep the final response under wraps for now. Stay tuned for that reveal.
Thank you, my lady. All right, we're going to take you off the stage for now, and we will check back with you another time. All right, guys, we are flying solo now. I am going to bring this Newsbreak article up on the screen, and this is the pièce de résistance of the video today. If you've made it this far, I thank you, you guys that are returning. Hopefully you got the biz out of the way before the first 30 seconds of the video. That way you don't have to be distracted with sharing. And make sure you haven't become unsubscribed for any reason whatsoever. We guys are so grateful for you. We love all your faces, and we are growing. We thank you for helping us to grow. We thank you for returning to watch our stuff. Now start commenting on it. Tell us what you think. What do you think about Walmart and big box retailers, or any retailers really, asking their consumers to eat tariff costs when they could bring it back to the United States? And I don't know, said that a third of Walmart's stock is imported. So I think that's quite a bit, and they need to scale that back. All right, let's continue on to this article. All right. So here we go, guys. So U.S. Treasury says Walmart will eat some of the tariffs after Trump demand. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. So here we go. We're going to get into this article. The U.S. retail giant Walmart will eat some of the tariffs. Let me put this full screen for you guys so you can see. Here we go. The U.S. retail giant Walmart will eat some of the tariffs in line with Donald Trump's demands. Good. He's looking out for us, the consumer. The president's Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, insisted on Sunday, claiming he received the assurance in a personal phone call with the company's chief executive Doug McMillon. A spokesperson for Walmart said the company would not comment on conversations between its executives and administration officials. However, a source familiar with the conversation said the phone call between Bessent and McMillon was arranged many days prior to Trump's post, and that the company's position had not changed. Okay. Walmart said this week it had no alternative to raising prices for consumers beginning later this month because it could not absorb the cost of the president's tariffs on international trade, which have caused turmoil in international markets. The statement provoked an angry response from Trump. Good for you, President Trump, who posted a rant. Good for him. It was a good rant to his Truth Social network on Saturday, saying the company should eat the tariffs and not charge valued customers anything, according to Bessent. Speaking on Sunday, NBC's Meet the Press, Walmart is now promising exactly that back to the United States. Walmart's chief financial officer, John Rainey, told CNBC that the company, which has thousands of stores across the U.S., was wired for everyday low prices, but he said the tariffs were more than any retailer could absorb. Good. I'm glad it is. We don't need Walmart. We can start our own local stores. We don't need you. And that consumers would begin to see higher prices towards the end of May and certainly much more in June. Well, this is what I have to say. You'll be starting to see fewer and fewer consumers. How about that, Walmart? How about that? It's not even a boycotting, like you said. We don't need you. Trump announced plans for an unprecedented barrage of tariffs against numerous countries on 2 April, a date he called Liberation Day. So we've already been through that. So I'm not going to listen to I'm not going to read the garbage that they're printing because they won't give you unbiasedness. They want to sell their country. They hate America. They must hate their home state of West Virginia. And I don't even know if this was a West Virginia person that's writing or not. So you guys, you can find this article on Newsbreak. I don't want to run this video too long. Let's just see. So we'll read the final part of it. Bessent told CNN's State of the Union in a later appearance on Sunday that the U.S. was focused on its 18 most important trading relationships and that he expected trade talks to continue with a number of countries, leading to a series of regional deals. That's perfect. I love it. All right, guys, that's all we've got. We will see you on the flip-flop. Thanks for watching. What? It's your guide. West Virginia's heart. It's right inside. West Virginia, wire, hear the news. Politics and stories what's shaping you. From the capital to the county line, we're keeping it local, keeping it prime. West Virginia, wire every week. Let's talk the truth. Let's hear you speak.